Hey folks, this is Mr. Chicken, and these are my new staring statues. It's a really simple optical illusion that you can very easily use in your haunt or display, or even have around your home. The way it works is that instead of using the front side of a normal sculpture like this, we're actually going to look at the back side of a thin plastic shell. And this does a little trick on your eyes where the faces will seem to turn to face you as you pass by. Now the key to making this effect work is usually in the lighting. So here we're actually just using the light that's coming in through the window on the other side of the room, and that's working okay. But oftentimes you'll be setting this up in a space with more controlled lighting. So if we wanted to create the effect of normal room overhead lighting like this, you can see the light comes in and it's landing on the high points of the sculpture and it's creating shadows underneath that. Well, when we've turned this around to make the effect work, if I keep that light overhead, I'm actually creating shadows and light in the opposite way that it normally would be. So there's a couple ways we can counteract this, and basically the trick is to mirror the existing lighting in the room. I can put the light behind the sculpture, and that way the light is coming through the plastic, it's landing on the correct spots on the back side, and I'm seeing it over from the front like this. That works great. The other way that I really like is to put that light down below from the front. And that is actually hitting the same spots that it would be like this. We're just switching the direction. And that creates a more opaque look than lighting it from behind. But you'll really just want to play around in your space and see what makes the most sense. Now I'm just going to show you really simply how I installed these busts onto my existing shelves, which will hopefully give you some ideas of how you might be able to do this yourself. Now I know I want the bust sitting flat on the bottom of the shelf, so I'm cutting off this extra plastic that's underneath it, because that, if we left that on there, then we kind of get this like weird floating effect, which we don't want. So I'm cutting that down flat, and now I'm measuring up. I know the height of the top of the shelf, so I am cutting that down to fit all around. We've got these templates that you can download on the site, chickenprops.com, that will give you an outline of the bust. So what you're going to do is print those out full size. It's on two 8.5 by 11 pages, and then cut that out, and now you have a template that you can use on some black material. I'm just going to use poster board here, and we're going to create a blackout border around the bust to make that flat section disappear. So I'm cutting this black into the total size of the shelf space, and then I'm going to use that template that we made earlier to trace out the placement of the bust into the shelf, and then we'll cut that out, and that will give us our blackout border, which I'm then just going to hot glue a little bit at a time around the bust there. And now you can see we've got black all around it, and the bust itself is just like that. Now we can insert this right into our shelf, adjust our lighting, and you're ready to go. You can find these staring statues on my site at chickenprops.com, and if you try them out, I hope you'll show me what you came up with.